Well, coming up in just a few moments in Arthur Ashe Stadium, our final night here on USA's 21st year as your home for America's Grand Slam. And it's the reigning champion and America's young tennis star on the male side, Andy Roddick, who will be in action. But one final chance to comment, John, about America's senior citizen, if we can say that, on the men's tennis side. Although he sure doesn't play like one. Andre Agassi fell this afternoon in 5 sets to Roger Federer. And what do you think it means for Andre? Doesn't mean anything.
I don't think it's going to mean that much. First of all, it was an unbelievable effort. And considering the difficult circumstances they played under, the fact that Andre took it to 5 sets, he should be commended for. I have every reason to believe that he could and should keep playing tennis. I mean, he's right there. He's knocking at the door. If he loves to compete as much as it seems like he loves to still compete and be out there, he's in supreme shape. He's an unbelievable asset to our sport. He played and lost to a guy who may go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest players that ever lived. We'd like to see Andre keep playing. It was a pleasure to be part of that match.
Absolutely. And the way Andre left the court today, you had to feel that he intends to be back. Now, with the Federer-Agassi match out of the way, it is the Federer-Roddick final that most people anticipate, as we saw at Wimbledon this year. The way Andy Roddick has played so far, John, through 4 rounds here, he's on a mission to make that his goal.
I saw him play at Wimbledon in the final. I thought that was the best he ever played. He ended up losing, believe it or not, to Roger Federer. But now at 22, he's really come into his own. He's just a step above these other players, and he is playing outstanding. I mean, it's not just the power, as we pointed out. He's got that. That's a given. He's gotten himself in better shape. He moves around the court better. He's using the noggin better. He's not afraid to come to the net more. He's becoming a more complete player, and he knows that that's what he needs to do if he's going to win a second U.S. Open and beat a player of Federer's caliber.
So I'm thinking about an American against a Swede tonight. I'm thinking McEnroe against Nylander, Roddick against Johansson. Kind of strikes a similar chord, doesn't it?
This guy is a real deal. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's very funny, Ted. You still got that sense of humor. Yeah, we hit the ball like in the same pace. But this guy, if there's any guy out there that hits the ball as hard as Andy Roddick, it's this guy. You heard from Mass last night that this guy is a legitimate threat to scare Andy Roddick. Roddick knows what he's got coming tonight. There's going to be a lot of quick points. You can rest assured of that. The difference to me is 2 things. One, that he hasn't been there as often. And the second thing, he's not as good an athlete as Andy Roddick.
All right, we'll find out if Mats Wielander's assessment is accurate. Andy Roddick trying to make the semis coming up in a moment.
Yeah, now. Although it's getting more humid, so that is a concern. These guys want to get this match completed tonight.
Exactly. And that's the conditions. Look at the humidity. It's going to be just like last night, where players will be dripping probably in about 4 points.
Here we go for some major heavyweight power tennis. Haven't seen that happen from Roddick, starting off a match with a double fault. Surprisingly, I've got to say, Ted, I mean, I'm hoping people are still pouring in, but a sparse crowd here for the final night match on USA.
And Roddick comes back with an ace at 135 on the IBM Surge Speed Gun. Well, hopefully this is a late arriving New York crowd. Traditionally, through the
they night get here late.
Well, the men come on a little later.
Well, that's the thing, is that usually there's a doubles or a ladies match, and then men don't get on to 9 o'clock. No problem whatsoever for Roddick to get to the quarters. Obviously no sets. I don't even think there was a close set.
No. 2 seeded players that he just demolished. And this is his 4th match out of 5 under the lights, something that he loves.
Well, it will be his last match under the lights unless there's rain on the weekend.
Boy, there's the first chance to see the forehand.
He gets under it well, and he can hit it with spin, as you can see, in the pace obviously there. He uses his wrist quite effectively. Doesn't look like he'll miss that shot often.
Oh, and Roddick comes back, answers the forehand winner with his second ace. He closes in on 140 as he checked. You see how he checked that reading?
Well, the wind just seemed to kick up too, and so these guys are big guys, but not a very high toss from Roddick, so that should help him.
You're right. You're right, though. That it was funny. They were getting ready to play, and it was seen still, and all of a sudden it's crept up a little bit. Greg Gilbert checking out the conditions. Now here's a young man who broke a drought last year, 2003. No Swede won a tour event in the ATP. That hadn't happened in 30 years. And Joachim Johansson won an indoor event in Memphis in February of this year. The previous week, indoor event in San Jose. Had a good run there until he faced Roddick, the only time the two of these men have ever met.
And the veteran is the next guy after Johansson, Bjorkman. They believe Soderling's going to be the real deal, and they certainly believe Johansson is. He's got to be tense though right now. By far the biggest match of his career.
6'6" and a tennis pedigree. His father, Leif Johansson, played a couple of years on the ATP tour and was a Davis Cup player for Sweden.
Really?
In 1974, Leif Johansson played #2 singles for Sweden in Davis Cup behind a young, brash kid by the name of Bjorn Borg.
That person I've heard of.
And they made
Kjell Johansson I've heard of.
Leif Johansson. And they made the semis. Sweden made the semis in Davis Cup that year. And the two Johanssons playing right now are not related. Thomas, who won the Australian Open, and Joachim, not related.
Johansson, this Johansson here, Joachim, was unable to play the Davis Cup match in the quarters. Apparently shoulder problems kept him out and made life easier for my brother, Davis Cup captain, to have Johansson unavailable, sadly, for a coach we saw here last night, Mats Wilander.
First ace. And more aces, unbelievably 20 more than Roddick.
Surprising. Tim in the semis, #2. That's impressive. Semis and second and ace. That is a tough serve to return.
Now, one other issue there is that Andy hasn't played real long.
No, he's played a lot less. Right. That was 137, and it looked like it hit both lines. Oh, caught the outs. Oh, maybe I'm seeing things too fast. He's tight right now, and he's not particularly quick around the court. He can't afford to be lazy. Like he just reached out for that forehand there.
He's already made 4 errors, Johansson, off the forehand.
It's a hit-miss match with Johansson. You hear that wind starting to pick up. It's going to make life difficult for him. There's another weak play.
Well, we heard Mats Wilander last night with us during the Mac Phone segment. He said if Johansson played his game, he thought Mats thought Johansson would win.
Which is going to be difficult to do. He did add in this situation.
Right.
Now with these conditions, even more difficult. His footwork favors someone who was in these conditions like they are now. The better athlete's going to help. I mean, I think you saw how well Hewitt played this afternoon under those conditions. Incredibly well, I thought. And Roddick has improved his foot speed. He's going to have to hit a mountain of aces, which he probably will do. Any indication coming into this match.
Third ace. The winner plays Leighton Hewitt. Which adds another twist to the story. Joakim Johansson's girlfriend for the last several years is Leighton Hewitt's sister.
That's right. So it's probably in a way he's hoping to play Roddick. Doesn't want to lose to the sister's boyfriend. See that ball spinning wickedly into Roddick's body. We'll also see a lot of forehand winners today. He lines it up properly, gets his feet in position.
Well, that's what you talked about, Johnny. How he holds his serve. A bunch, 4 aces in that first game.
Well, we know 3 of the 4 semifinalists. Now we're going to wait to see who Leighton Hewitt will play. Let's just hope they get this match in.
Talk about form. If Roddick wins, it's the 1, 2, 4, and 5 seeds in the semis. That is what we've been conditioned to see with the women, not necessarily with the men.
Roddick is obviously in form. Hewitt is in form. Neither have dropped a set. Federer found a way to win. It just shows you how much he's maturing and playing so well in the big matches and points. And Hedman's had a great year in the majors.
The only top seed out was Carlos Moya. What did it look like, Andy?
Just threw the curveball.
Yeah, right. The wind really whipping now. How short that was?
Did not. I mean, for him, that's unheard of. 100 miles an hour. The crowd does not know what to make of this so far. They've been quite content to sit on the derrieres and wait it out for a while.
So there's a hold of serve. So we begin this quarter. Both players holding.
Yeah, it's 20-something, or we'll find out. 22. I mean, it's some incredible amount.
Just say 138.
Yeah,
sounds good. Chris Evert, 18 championships.
Is that
nice
all?
Nice to see, Chris. I thought you won the French 18 times.
Exactly. So much for that win not being a factor.
Love to think.
Those are being promoted as entrants in the Andre Agassi look-alike contest. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe on the right.
There's certain similarities.
Well, Johansson is 6'6", and you can see he doesn't cheat himself. I mean, he smacks it.
Who's she rooting for?
It's Jaslyn Hewitt.
She's going to want her boyfriend to win here, and then what happens in the semis? Leighton Hewitt's mom on the left there. Now what happens if Joachim wins this? What Johansson can do effectively is hit that forehand with depth and power to Roddick's back, but he can also hit it short outside the court and force Roddick maybe to go for more than he wants to. He was content to stay behind the baseline and wait for his forehand. And Johansson can hurt him with that top spin he uses well. It's tougher to hit or you have to basically go for the winner if it's a shorter and off the court. And then that opens the door for Johansson. Hit winners to the open court.
Johansson.
So it's 2-all. Showed you Chris Evert. It triggers my mind that just before we came back on the air for the night shows, you see Johansson losing only 1 set en route. Martina Navratilova's U.S. Open came to an end.
Did she lose that mixed doubles?
Martina and Leander Paes were beaten in the super tiebreak of mixed doubles.
They have a super tiebreak again.
By Alicia Malik and Todd Woodbridge.
That's on the line. So is that the end for her? I think she said this is her last Open.
Well, that's, I think
we've heard that before.
Yes, I think that's open to debate. I've heard varying versions of that.
She will be 48, I believe, soon.
Yes.
Very soon. Court's got a different color down there. I don't know if it's slippery, but it sure looks like it is up here.
Right where Johansson is standing, that corner of the court. Well, the drying perhaps has taken a little bit of a toll. They scraped a lot of the layers of paint off the courts for this year's Open in an attempt to help it dry faster. They felt last year that with all the extra layers of paint that built up through the years, they were absorbing water.
That looks slippery. I mean, it's not going to affect the speed of the court, but it's certainly going to affect the player's movement. I hope I'm wrong. Well, that's power in that backhand as well. He really stepped in.
30.
He did something that was interesting. He just hit a one-handed short ball. That's probably because Johnny's got a one-handed backhand. Yeah. But he forced Roddick in, and he's got a chance to break.
We're getting a little explanation from our crew members that there may be a little bit of an oil spill from one of the drying machines last night. That's what gives the corner of the court that you're going to see here in the front of your picture that look.
I don't even remember Roddick being broken. There it is.
Wow, and a double fault. And that gives Johansson the first set lead. It is starting to rain, and that's going to stop play. Just as they were ready to begin.
Fortunate.
Yep. Brian Early, the tournament referee, comes out. Johansson was the guy that walked. Roddick standing out there.
Still out there waiting, but I mean they're not going to be able to play right now.
Brian Early, tournament referees, came out and motioned the players, and this is because the U.S.
a little while to get the courts dry, but a nice quick job, and here they are. Andy Roddick, by the way, showered and changed into the 12th one of those Subway map shirts that he has.
Oh, that was I guess that's unfortunately the good luck charm as we go forward.
Well, they'll get a little knock up here, as they'd say over in England,
but we have some live tennis, and now Andy's had a chance to regroup because he looked a little uptight out there early in this match. match. Now he's got time to gather his thoughts and see if he can get himself back in this first set.
Johansson should not surprise him, right? Because they played earlier this year.
They played early this year. He knows his game. He knows what he's got. But the conditions were tough, and this is a big match for him. Let's face it, he's trying to defend his title. He wants to prove that he can maybe end the year at #1. That's a tall task with what Federer has done, but and a long shot. But let's start with winning this match in the U.S. Open, he says.
Right. I remember for years and years doing this, and you say, man, sometimes it'd be good for a player to get tested before they reach that final weekend. And I've come to believe, I don't believe that's true. Now, did you feel that way as a
Guys
player?
would be more than happy to win all the matches in straight sets. You know, the first year I won, I only won 1 set. I got defaults and people falling over. Do people remember how easy I had it that year? I don't think so. I was down in the President's Suite, you'll be happy to know, Ted, trying to find Arlen Cantarian. Just a little discussion about, you know, perhaps that roof issue a little bit again. Now that,
is that right?
We just,
well,
keep it open, you know, keep it open for discussion, because you know we don't want much delays in these big matches.
Actually, Arlen Cantarian does have drawings here at the National Tennis Center of a canopy, a sliding canopy, and if you're familiar at all with Safeco Field in Seattle, baseball stadium out there, it'd be something similar to that, where it would basically be a sliding roof that would protect the court from moisture but would not keep the temperature.
I have drawings of me in a rock and roll band. You know, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, okay? At the moment, I think there's about the same odds.
Jumpsuits?
Yeah. What do you like, Devo
or Jagger? I was thinking.
I got to start running like 15 miles a day.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's Andy Roddick, and that's a pretty determined look on his face.
That is well put. I mean, he really looks like a different guy out there. He sort of, to me, was surprisingly loose. I mean, he started off the match with a double fault, which is already surprising. We're so used to hit him in a big ace, and he gave Johansson the break with a double fault. So he's got some work to do here.
And this is where, and we talked about this a lot at Wimbledon this year, John, that the Brad Gilbert factor comes into play, because, you know, during the rain delay, Andy can have Brad there working with him, strategy, pump up, whatever Brad feels Andy needs.
Well, this is where he gets paid the big bucks for, and let's see if Andy comes out with a little bit different idea of how to approach this. I think he's got to make this a more physical match and a more athletic match. He's got to get Johansson on the run more. I mean, he likes to get himself a little bit of time to get set. He's perfectly content to play some short points and dictate them when they get a little bit longer, and he's got to step it up a little bit here. So far, he's been surprisingly tame. Now, maybe the conditions, it was a bit windy out there, and maybe he...
All right, final moments here of the warm-up before we resume with Joachim Johansson up a break. Only the second time Andy Roddick's serve has been broken in the United States Open. Roddick had only lost 27 games in his first 4 matches.
I'm trying to see if Roddick, as I said, he was trying to get the #1 ranking potential. I'm not sure it's even possible if he wins this and pretty much the end of the rest of the year. The way Federer has played this year and has already done a couple rounds better and is in the semis. It's certainly not going to stop him from trying to become the first man since Patrick Rafter in 1998 to successfully defend his title.
Well, it's a little weird thing, because on the ladies' side right now, unless Lindsay Davenport wins the U.S. Open, Amelie Mauresmo will be #1. And again, you know, the computer can tell you what they want, but there isn't a fan on earth that would believe that Amelie Mauresmo is the #1 player.
Not even Mauresmo would believe that. And after a delay of, what, approximately an hour or so, we're back with some live tennis. Johansson up a break.
Delay is 55 minutes, and immediately.
That's an excellent play by Johansson. I like to see that. I don't remember him coming in and being aggressive. I thought I heard Roddick break a string, but he didn't seem to be in any rush to get to the net after breaking it. But now he's upset. I think he just saw some people moving during the point.
Okay, he was staring at something as he walked. I couldn't tell if it was Johansson or...
I don't know. I picked Andy to win this, and I still would pick him to win this match, but this is by far the most uptight I've seen him in a match. Johansson has gotten to him a little bit early here. That's on the line. Johannsson's at pretty much a career high. He's gotten to as high as 29, 30 currently. I mean, he's going to move up in the rankings, win or lose.
And this is a fellow who started the year 113 in the world.
Born the same day as my brother, 21 years old. 22 now, July 1st. That's what he's got to get Johansson to do and be on the run. And he's decided edge to Roddick and the movement around the court. He's got to pull Johansson off the court. And there's such an opening there for him. Easier said than done.
And Johansson blasts fifth ace, 136. The IBM reading. So it's 4-2 for the Swede. And remember that next weekend, golf takes over here on USA. Opening ceremonies Thursday at 5 p.m. And then first day coverage of the Ryder Cup live at 8 a.m. Eastern 1 week from tomorrow here on USA. And of course, it'll be followed by weekend coverage on NBC.
He's got a nice looking slice backhand, I must say. Very impressive. First time I saw him was last year at the Australian where Marty Fish beat him. He made more of an impact this year.
Roddick goes wide for the ace. It looks like this delay brings the players back with a little better conditions. John, the air seems a little lighter. The wind has died down. Well, I
spoke a little, soon, but it is less than it was. That's for sure.
It doesn't seem to be on the court right now what it was at the beginning of this set.
Johansson did win a couple rounds this year down under. Lost to Ferrero in a close match.
And Roddick with a hole. So he's back in action. And Joachim Johansson trying to hold out his serve twice and capture this first set. The only set he's lost in the Open so far was in a tiebreak. That was to Stefan Kubek. And that's the kind of match you envision beforehand would be tiebreaks. But Roddick's going to have to break a serve to get to a tiebreak.
If anything, you would have thought that Johansson would have been the more uptight of the two and been a bit overwhelmed early in the match.
Well, there he just hit his fastest.
Just only 139. What's wrong? I mean, these guys aren't in the 140s yet. Doing a pretty good job of serving so far as Johansson. 3 out of 4 serves are going in at that pace.
It's 5-3 for Johansson.
There's Eric HEIDEN, an old buddy of mine. 5 gold medals, 1980 Olympics. His wife Karen. He also inducted me, Ted, in the Hall of Fame 5 years ago. So he's always a special place in my heart for Eric, who's now a doctor, orthopedic doctor, Sacramento. It's a good effort, isn't it?
It's a pretty good. It's a great effort. And Andy being bothered by some fans again right behind him.
Not too many athletes I know that succeed as mightily as he did in his profession. Was in the Tour de France once also, and then become a doctor. A lot of work. Pay your dues. Alec Baldwin likes to come out to the tennis, and he's getting closer to his prize. Nominated for the Academy Award this year.
So Roddick with his 6th ace.
It's like getting to the finals and not winning. So go back to the drawing board next year. Not a lot of rallying going.
No, this is right now. This is the way you thought these two would play. The only difference is that Roddick has been broken. There's another easy game. We'll return and see if Johansson can close out the first set.
Johansson leads 5-6.
So here's Joachim Johansson serving for the first set.
There's where he looked to be a little sluggish. He leaned one way and there was no position to volley this ball. It's a good deep approach shot. He did not look to be prepared there. That's big.
But forehand is, I mean, this is really Roddick seeing a lot of what he dishes out to people.
Yep, he's got a lot of racket speed too. He hits he can really use that wrist effectively. He can flatten the ball out, but when he needs to play it a little safer but still swing hard, he uses the wrist. He looks confident that he's going to hit the ball in the court every time. Serve was 130. It looked faster than that.
Exactly what I was thinking. Up the middle. 7 aces for each man in this first set.
Difference is Johansson has yet to double fault. Roddick lost his serve on one. Now we can see a little bit more of why Mats Wilander was talking this guy up.
Absolutely. 2 set points. Look where Roddick is. But John, the point started with Roddick actually backing up almost to the wall, it seemed like, in the second serve.
We saw that off him last year. He would move back on the second serve return. And this is what he wants to do. He's got to get this guy some extended rallies and use his superior athletic ability. The problem with standing that far back is a guy can come up with an angle. He can take a little bit off it. It's a smart serve by Johansson. And spins away from Roddick. That's almost impossible shot to return.
What a great return.
And he pulled an Agassi there. He used his opponent's pace, blocked it back, and came back a lot faster than Johansson thought it was. He might try that slice serve out wide again. It's just nothing you can do there. 138-mile-per-hour serve that he hit behind his service line. Johansson's so tall. Guy looks younger than 22, doesn't he? He's eager. That's what you said a couple minutes ago, Ted. That's what Roddick's used to doing to his opponents.
Sitting here thinking, you know, did we ever imagine we'd see a Swedish version of Andy Roddick?
Certainly seeing it now.
The point you talked about that Roddick wanted to play. And what a response in Arthur Ashe Stadium that is a little stunned right now. Andy Roddick has lost his first set of the Open, and he lost it to a man who, at least for one set, beat Andy at his own game.
That was an unbelievable forehand.
15 left.
Well, like you said, it's just Roddick is looking at a mirror image of himself. Now, Johansson's taller. He's 6'6". And Andy's got his ace serving game going, too. They both have 8 aces. And these two, actually, for a brief period of time, were doubles partners in juniors. In 2000, when Andy Roddick was the #1 junior in the world, and Johansson was #3 in the world. They played doubles together and reached the finals in the French Open juniors. Lost to Tommy Robredo and Mark Lopez there.
And 3 of the 4 have been pretty big in the game. Have to do a research check on Mark Lopez.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
Nope, never heard of him. 3-4 is pretty good. There's Martin Short and Patty Smythe McEnroe. It's old friends of ours enjoying the tennis. First time he's been out here. And there's a guy who is just a naturally funny guy.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
All I know is when I did synchronized swimming in the Sydney Olympics, that's all I heard about. I think it was with Martin Short and Harry Shearer, I believe, right? Did that famous synchronized swimming skit,
yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
Well, since hitting that forehand to win the first set, he hasn't won a point.
And that's
a bit of a letdown.
Exactly what Roddick wants to seize on. And he can't keep that pace up.
Big time letdown here so far in the second set.
Hawkeye says out. Second break point for Roddick in the match. But Johansson will save two more. He won Memphis, we mentioned, back in February this year. He faced only 5 break points in the entire tournament.
You can see why. Oh. You've got to respect that he's got that pop up the middle. So you're leaning that way, and then he can slice it out wide. He's got a nice, what appears to be pretty easy motion and difficult to read. That's the luxury of a big serve. We saw that time and time again with Pete Sampras. He'd get himself out of trouble. Yep. Serve his way out.
And then, again, the same thing Andy Roddick will do. Can erase 3 break points as if they never existed.
How's that for an angle?
Wow.
And that's why when the draw was made, when you thought, okay, who could potentially scare the top players? It's not seeded. This guy's name came to mind.
Also shows you when Roddick has the chance, he has to stay away from that forehand, doesn't he?
See, I'm old school now, I realize, because he's 28th seed. And I'm having a hard time getting past the seed more than 16. Have to accept
do you like it or not?
I don't like it, but I guess the players do. They would have put their foot down.
The players wanted it, I believe.
guys ranked 16 to 32 on it. Or 17 to 32, so they wouldn't play.
Well, and the top
guys in the first round.
Right,
You can't blame them.
Top guy doesn't want to play 17 in the first round
true.
either. Of course, what it does is it makes the first week a little less exciting, but can make the second week more exciting. Just the second double for Johansson. The last spot in the men's semifinals up for grabs here. Roger Federer, Leighton Hewitt, and Tim Henman are already there.
Unbelievable how far back Roddick was to return that serve, trying to give Johansson some different looks. That's good for a racket toss, that return. Dumped that backhand in the bottom of the net. He's not shown much emotion. It might help him to get this crowd more into the match and on his side. Because the crowd's a bit stunned by this situation.
Johansson saved 3 break points. Comes back from love 40 and holds serve. Well, on Sunday, for the men's championship airs on CBS, USA will have the women's doubles final as always at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Russian team's already there. Elena Lahovsova and Svetlana Kuznetsova.
He's having some tournament.
Kuznetsova in the singles semis and doubles final. So there's Roddick's run now, and he's come out of the rain delay and is fired on his serve. He's just yet to get the break that he needs.
Tell you one thing, Johansson doesn't look fazed by the situation so far. He's also moving better than I thought he would. I haven't seen a lot of his matches. He's at 6'6", he's covering some ground.
Wow. And he comes back from on 40 love to get this game to deuce. Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable.
This could be, this next point, as crucial as any Roddick's played in a long time. I mean, what a turnaround this would be. Roddick had 3 break points a moment ago.
Doesn't break, and now he's up 40 love, and now he's down break point again. And
Johansson puts it away, and a sequence early in the second set. And you can see it all on the faces and in the eyes of these players. Johansson is up a break.
This guy's unbelievable.
It feels like we're in the New York City Public Library.
Very quiet.
It's
crowd
really
stunned.
Stunned is what it is.
Commentators, can I say commentators? Or
yes.
Just commentators stunned.
And right now, the hope for Roddick, I would imagine, and for his supporters, is that somehow Johansson wakes up. Jimmy Connors, great Pancho Segura. It's great to see so many champions.
It is nice to see them
back
here. Some of them playing, some just watching. What a beautiful point by Johansson. And he was off the court here.
15.
Oh, he goes right back to the attack. Chips and comes in. That is absolutely exquisite by Johansson.
It's a first volley winner. And a beautiful one.
But he hasn't been afraid to come to net. As a matter of fact, he's been there more than Roddick. Roddick's only come to net twice. He's got feel too. Someone's saying, "I told you so," right now to us.
30-15.
Where's Mott sitting?
That's if he's around. You said he was going to come back in the booth. He's probably getting ready. Incredible tennis from Johansson. Drop shots, volleys, topspin lob, power.
40-15.
His 11th ace, and right now, Andy Roddick's hopes of defending his U.S. Open championship are being given by far. It's not only its first test, but by far the sternest test he could have ever imagined. I mean, the last time Andy Roddick lost in New York was in the quarterfinals 2 years ago. He was given a lesson out here by Pete Sampras in Pete's fabulous final run. You know, the only problem with this so far for Johansson, John, is it's the middle of the night this week, and they've been so...
They stay up late there, don't worry. Borg started this all with the 6 Frenches, 5 Wimbledons, Mats. He's got 7 at home. Stefan Edberg just got in the Hall of Fame, 6. Thomas Johansson, no relation with an Australian Open.
Would you care to elaborate on that? And they've been, but I mean, they've been waiting for another. And Thomas Johansson's one win was came out of nowhere. The hope they had really was Magnus Norman. Magnus Norman about 5 years ago made a good run to the top.
Got his 2 in the world, his finals of the French.
And remember when he played in that final of the French, there were virtually no journalists from Sweden there to cover it. And the hope was that if he could win, which he didn't, it might reignite interest in the country.
40 love. Again, Roddick.
But Roddick holds his love. But now his mission is to find some way to crack Johansson's serve. Joakim Johansson trying to write the biggest story in Swedish tennis in quite a while. He could knock out the defending champion on his home turf. But the biggest challenge in tennis is to keep this kind of game up in the best of 5.
And that is the question that we are wondering about Johansson right now. Can he keep this up for another couple sets? Listen, it's only been out there an hour. That rain delay didn't seem to affect him at all. And the game plan in the locker room hasn't worked. Game plan B for Roddick.
And Johansson consistently in the 130s, and both men serving beautifully. But right now it's one break in each set.
First time that he's been able to step into one of those Johansson serves that went out wide. He's going to try to pick up on that a little bit sooner, like he did there. Easy for me to say. Yeah, just pick up on it. No big deal. It's the hardest serve he's hit today. 141.
Wow.
It looks like to me, though, watching Roddick from the start of this match, it's almost like he expected this to happen. He just does not look like he's got that swagger. He's not comfortable. He's not as confident.
But also, John, looked a little bit in the first set. Looked a little bit like what Roddick did to Federer in the first set at Wimbledon. Johansson's kept it up here in the second set.
It's a bit, it paralyzed him a bit. This power that Johansson possesses. Not easy to defend your title.
You mentioned earlier, Rafter, the last man to do it.
40 love.
And then that following year, he lost in the first round. Right? Didn't he play Pioline?
Right. Exactly. Good memory, Pioline. That's right. Right. Walked off the court.
Again, Roddick.
Well, Roddick's had 2 straight service games at Love.
Johansson leads 4 games to 2. 7 sets to 1 set.
Well, the 3 men who were expected to get through their sections of the draw have to the semifinals. Andy Roddick trying to be the 4th and last one. But he has been beaten so far, beaten at his game. And this 22-year-old 6'6" Swede with 1 career tournament victory. And it's such a contrast, isn't it, John, from the Federer-Agassi match? These are 2 guys bludgeoning each other.
This is not much of a chess match, and that's one of the problems for Roddick. It's just tough for the crowd to figure out a way how to get into this. There's not a lot of rallies. The points end so fast. It's hard to find a way in here. Roddick hasn't shown any acknowledgement of the crowd so far. Perhaps doesn't feel like he deserves to.
Well, the one thing that might get something going here is if he can just find a way. He had the chance and early in this set to break, didn't do it.
He had the 3 chances.
Right.
And then went up 40 love on his serve and lost the game. That was a critical turnaround. His nets are so tightly wound that anything that hits the net bounce long like it did there. These guys also hit the ball so unbelievably hard. What's the weather forecast? Because Roddick might need another rain delay.
There's been one little 3-point glitch in the second game of this set. Is the only crack for Johansson.
I'll get the gray.
Wow.
Hairs working.
The look on Brad's face and in Roddick's face tell you everything. They've run into a guy playing unconsciously.
15.
No. I'll tell you.
15.
From what I've seen, so this guy's moving pretty well.
Johansson lost in the second round of the Olympics to Lubicic. He lost in the third round of Long Island last week to Srishapan. Lost first round Cincinnati to Kiefer. Lost quarterfinals in Toronto, I guess it was, to Thomas Johansson. He's been human. This is on the hard courts.
He lost to Roddick either in Indianapolis on hard courts.
He's been human. He just hasn't shown it yet tonight.
Roddick.
Well, let's see if he does when he serves for the second set.
One more chance for Roddick to avoid falling into a deep hole. So another moment of measure here for Johansson. A chance to go up 2 sets on the defending champion. And what you look for as well, John, and you really haven't seen it all tonight, nerves. Some sign that this guy's got a pulse.
Yeah. Well, you know the Swedes, they're so calm, annoyingly calm. Borg's pulse was about 30. Matt's is probably 35. Edberg's is probably up below 40. His doesn't seem a whole lot higher. His first sign of nerves, those first couple points.
Love 30.
So the crowd, this is what they want. They one break.
Turn the whole thing around.
Will give Roddick the energy.
There's your nerves.
And John Johansson, 3 points, 3 first serves out. And it's love 40.
15-40. Ready to blow, please. Thank you.
If he gets out of this, he's going to deal a huge blow to the spirit of Roddick.
Agonizing for Roddick to see that ball float just long. Or was it? Boy, Johansson with some angles.
The forehands are just astounding. And now set point after love 40.
Look where he's hitting that ball and what he decides to do. Because he sees how far Roddick's back behind the court. Such a smart play there by Johansson.
That is some astounding comeback. Twice in the set, Johansson came back from love 40. Now, Andy Roddick, we'll find out what kind of fight's left in Andy after that. I mean, what an emotional blow. Not just to lose that set, but the way it happened. Johansson twice in that set was at love 40 and a third game at 15-40. And he came back and held.
Well, it's happened. He can come back. They haven't been out there long, that's for sure. He got deflated that other time. He was up love 40, got up 40-love, and somehow lost the game.
Yep. Of course, that match last year, Roddick saved the match point against Nalbandian.
That's right.
And I keep, Johnny, I think you hit on a great point in that somehow, when Andy Roddick could really use some way to get this crowd on his side. I mean, they're on his side, but to get him into it.
Yeah, they're not into it enough, and he hasn't really tried to get them into it, acknowledge them.
Well, Roddick's had 5 service games of his own at love. A ton of aces. It's just, he has not capitalized on the break points. Johansson has only had 2 break points in the match, and he's won them both.
That last game at love 40, he had a chance at a second serve. Johansson just uncorked another massive forehand. If he keeps this up for another half hour, he could be in the semis.
Left it in.
That's going to be a tall order. You'd have to think that it's going to get to him at some stage. The magnitude of this win.
Love it.
playing in a very intelligent match too, Johansson.
15-20.
He's mixed things up far more than Roddick has. And again, he sees how far Roddick's behind that baseline.
And John, the interesting thing is now here's a guy, he's changed coaches twice in the last year. He just has a new coach in the last 2 months.
This guy's happy.
Magnus Matheson, sitting next to Jaslyn Hewitt, just joined up with Johansson just before Wimbledon.
Didn't he have a different name a minute ago?
Yes. It's his previous coach. He won the tournament with the previous coach early in the year. They split up in the spring. But now, the 8th chance for Roddick to break. Roddick breaks through. He kept punishing the backhand there, John.
He worked so hard for this point, and this has got to feel so good finally for Roddick. He's waited almost an hour and a half, but add the other hour, the rain delay, and there was a jolt of adrenaline just went through Roddick and the crowd.
But all but one stroke, he stayed on Johansson's backhand.
Obviously, it's like Federer. I mean,
right.
You can see Johansson's backhand has improved even in the last year, but it's not as dangerous as the forehand.
And Roddick now knew what that meant, trying to get the crowd into it, screaming it's not over.
His hardest serve of the match. Yeah. No surprise there. He is pumped up finally.
And the thing Roddick has going for him was that now that he had a match last year, he knows that he has what it takes to do this. To spend the time necessary to stay out there and come back to this kind of match.
It was 148 but wide.
Well, Roddick doing his best to keep us going into the night. But finally gets the... We're live in New York at the National Tennis Center. The last men's quarterfinal. And after being jolted in the first 2 sets, Andy Roddick has come back up a break. And for the first time, putting a little pressure on Johansson. And I'm sure Roddick is sitting there thinking, okay, he can make an error on that forehand.
He's waited a while for this, but he's officially in the match now. Roddick finally starting to work his way into net. Few and far between have been his approaches. It's 2 this set, 5 total. Things are starting to go his way. He's starting to get to Johansson a little here.
Well, Andy could put this set in his pocket at this point. And if Andy Roddick can take this set, especially if he can do it quickly, it will really bring some electricity to this crowd has been searching for tonight. And been stymied by this 6'6" hard-hitting Swede. Used to be in Sweden that when you tried to play tennis, you had to give up a winter sport. Well, you could understand Johansson was about to be drafted into basketball. That was going to be his sport before he finally settled on tennis.
So they try to get him on hockey skates. That's a given in Sweden. But the guy that can have this type of artillery on a tennis court, he clearly made the right choice.
That's 18 aces for Johansson, 17 for Roddick. So Johansson erases any hope of a second break there.
I was going to say the last thing that goes is your serve.
Well, Johansson has had more aces than anyone in the first 4 rounds of this U.S. Open. And he's had 2 more than Roddick tonight. This was a guy who was, after he won Memphis, Johansson this year, for his first career victory, said he was going to really work on strengthening his abs and his back to keep his serve going. Well, he did it.
Well, he did it eventually. Unfortunately for Mats Wilander, who we had fun with last night, he missed the Davis Cup tie in April. How discouraging is that for the Davis Cup coach to feel like his top player isn't able to show up?
Roddick cleaning up on his serve. 15 straight points and a 4-1 third set lead.
Roddick leads 4-1.
Heard that, and I expect Clint Eastwood to walk out.
That's right.
The outlaw Josie Wales.
Shootout at the OK Corral is occurring here at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
By the way, we should mention that Chris Evert just dropped by, say hi to us, and told us about your guys have a little appearance in the Wimbledon movie that's premiering next week, I believe.
Premiering Monday in Los Angeles. Opening next Friday. It's a good idea to get that stomach midsection stronger, because that will help a shot like this. The torque there, and you can see how much that trunk area, how important that is for that shot.
Once in a while you see that reading go up for winners. It doesn't really mean much, except when you hear that the one that we just showed you from Johansson is the fastest recorded speed on a ground stroke this week.
In the history of tennis. It's the one area of the court where he leans, Johansson. He looks a little sluggish up there. Wasn't picking up the Roddick passing shot.
Boy,
That's a couple great gets.
yes, by Johansson. Win that point.
But also what is equally impressive is that what he thought of doing. I mean, right here, he just slices it, gives himself a little bit of time to get back to the point. He guesses right there. He plays a safe shot, puts a lot of top spin on. Very smart.
And Johansson.
So what you've been describing tonight, John, sounds like it isn't just brain dead power from this
No,
young Swede.
it really isn't. It's very impressive. And I'm sure the country of Sweden is quite excited about the prospects for him.
And Roddick knows now his goal, just keep this going. 2 more games and they'll play on. Well, he is on some roll on serve is Roddick. And a game from the 3rd set. Andy Roddick trying to make sure that nobody goes home early on this Thursday night. Our final night of coverage here in USA Network's 21st consecutive year covering America's Grand Slam.
No, that was the first time that he looked like he tossed a brick there. And that drop shot. Not good shot. He's actually exhibited some nice feel out there in this match, along with the obvious power.
John, how about this? We should quickly kudos to Gordon Beck,
yes,
the Grand Poobah of USA, who's been here for all 21 U.S. Opens, and Steve Dinkus and Denise Ribeiro are
that's a good call.
Directors of Program Administration, who are the backbone of the operation. And our sincere thanks from all of us to them.
They kept us going all these years. These guys that you just mentioned, Gordon, Steve, Denise, they're operating a couple hours of sleep a night to try to make this broadcast as good as possible. He sort of knew he was going to go at Johansson. So did Johansson. This should be a good game for Andy to break, so he could start off the next set serving. Take some pressure off himself as he tries to win his first set. And a good play there to handcuff Johansson. Looked a little shaky with the touch the last couple times he's tried it.
Twentieth ace, again going back to that great serve out wide.
It's not big. It's just got some wicked spin. You find a nice angle at 6'6".
They all look big to me.
Yeah, they put this. I agree.
And it is something, John, we're seeing, and it's affecting other sports, and I see it in tennis now. It's the incredible height. It's no longer unusual to see 6'6". Alexander Pop, the German, is 6'7", and of course Karlovic is 6'10", biggest of them all.
He used to hope to play big guys. They couldn't move at all with a lick. And that's probably the biggest forehand any Roddick has hit tonight.
15.
Before we see the replays over, Roddick is tossed in ace 19.
Andy's in hyperspeed here. Which is a good play, right, when you're going well?
Why not?
Right.
Yeah, that was a tough call. It looked like from up here. Oh, Andy, I don't know what happened there. If he overruled it. Yeah, the chair umpire correctly overruled that. Carlos Ramos.
There he is. So a replay at 30 love. Now Roddick will have 3 set points. I mean, that's the fastest game I think I've ever seen. And it took like 3 seconds between points. But Roddick's trying to get this place jumping. You know, John, it's so impressive to me that Roddick came back. And for those who may have just joined us, I mean, he lost the second set, you know, just a heartbreaking manner. And it could have broken the spirit of a lesser player. The Roddick's credit, he came right back.
Yep. Well, let's not forget he is the defending champion. And he's got to and wants to go out fighting if he's going to lose this match.
Good.
You could look at the bright side. He had a number of chances. We'll take a look at that call there. He flicked that backhand cross court. Certainly had beaten Johansson. Looks like it caught the outside of the line. Great shot by Roddick to start this 4th set. That's deep. This would be huge for Roddick to get this early break. The pressure's on now for Johansson. He's feeling it. He's getting more and more into this.
One thing that stands out, John, is a dramatic difference for Johansson between his first serve and his second serve. The one area where Roddick seems to be able to jump on is that second serve.
Johansson's been above 60%. That's why it's been so difficult for Andy to get those breaks, but he's had chances. comes another second serve. Like a snake going after his prey, that forehand. It's a lethal shot.
Oh,
man. 3 straight points. That just huge forehand. Looks like he's playing it safe there almost. Unbelievable.
Well, he stayed on his forehand in that game, Johansson.
Yeah, he answered the call there, that's for sure.
Winner. Well, we've got 2 gunslingers going at it on court, but fear not. Those of you who have been with us through the years know that USA has our own gunslinger. Look at the reaction. Look what Michael Barkan engenders.
Look at him go.
Look at these 3 ladies. They see him.
They see him.
Oh, look at the reaction.
He's down with Eric Heiden, I see. All right.
And Mrs. Heiden, a faceplant.
Are you talking about us? I hope not.
Go to you. Michael, it's all yours.
Johnny Mac, with one of the greatest athletes of all time, Mr. Eric Heiden, his lovely wife Karen. He of the 5 gold medals in 1980 in Lake Placid, 5 Olympic records and a world record, and first U.S. Open. What took you so long?
I was waiting for that invitation from Johnny Mac. It was long in coming.
But when he finally showed up, look at this.
Yeah, I know. I'm never going to be able to come back to a nice place like this again.
What's your impression upon seeing all this, the power here?
Oh, it's amazing, the perspective that you get from here. You watch it on TV, and you really miss it, how hard these guys hit it. And you watch that ball just turn into an oval when they put the spin on it. It's impressive.
You know what else is impressive? We've got to harken back to 1980 because 5 Olympic gold medals. As that one goes high up and will fall out of bounds. 5 Olympic golds from a sprint distance to 10,000 meters. It's amazing. It will never be duplicated, will it?
I don't think it'll ever happen again because skating has become very specialized. The competitions have turned into World Cups where a guy can survive skating 1 or 2 distances, and in the past you had to skate everything. So I don't think it'll happen again.
And now you're still working out with the American speed skating team, the American cycling team. You're an orthopedist in Sacramento. You're doing everything.
Try to stay active.
You know, John and Ted, as I send it back upstairs, I once asked Eric why he wanted to be an orthopedist. He said, I always like working with wood. There you go, with Eric Heiden and Karen Heiden. Yeah.
Roddick just killed. He's just filthy on his serve right now. And you brought up a great point earlier, John, about how finish on Eric Heiden. What a transformation to be one of the greatest Olympic champions ever, and then be just as successful in a significant field of medicine.
Well, needless to say, he has an unbelievable work ethic. You talk about a guy who's well conditioned. You ever see the size of his legs? Just unbelievably strong. He worked on that trunk area and the stomach ab area too. And I was fortunate enough to have him come to Newport and induct me into the Hall of Fame, an old buddy back from the Stanford days. Roddick's got that hop to his step now.
Well, he's in an incredible groove on his serve, and he's back, I'm sure, to thinking the way Andy normally is, if I can just get 1 break.
Great shot.
Talking to himself. Come on, let's go.
The wind really took that ball. He did well to get that ball back. Johansson thought he had this point won. See this strutting to the other side now. He's starting to believe this is going to happen. It's going to go well wide. And the crowd's starting to sense it's going to happen, and that is key. Keep that energy level nice and high. Again, the pressure on Johansson. How will he respond this game? Now love 40 down. He wants to hit some forehands.
You should all know by now, don't get giddy when it's love 40 on Johansson's serve.
And 1 out of 10 so far break point chances for Roddick. Oh yes,
that one he got.
Now we're talking.
Now he's following in a great tradition of Americans before him that have embraced the New York night. And Roddick is now trying to use it to bring him back from a huge deficit. Roddick just served his 23rd ace. 24th ace. And he's now won 743 straight points on his serve.
It's a lot.
It's ridiculous. Breaks the streak and will actually 27, 28. That was the streak. 28 straight points on his serve. Roddick just punishing, as Johansson did to him the first 2 sets. Punishing the Swede on serve.
We got to see this break point again, though, because this was something else. Johansson hitting that big forehand, but he gave Andy one last chance. Didn't do enough with that volley. And the reaction was sweet. Unreturnable.
21 aces for Johansson. Something else to remember, if Roddick can keep his foot down on the gas in this set, Johansson has never played a 5-set match.
Well, I've got a feeling, Ted, he's about to. this match has progressed, Roddick has made him play just a little bit more. Come up with tougher shots there. The half volley. He's just not familiar with that type of play quite yet. And he just seems to have slowed down ever so slightly. He's been out on court about 2 hours. It hasn't been that long. Roddick thought his ball was going to hit the net, and he hesitated well behind the baseline. Johansson saw that, but missed a drop shot. Just went for 2 first serves there.
Now for 2 sets, this fairly anonymous 6'6" Swede played magnificent tennis on the biggest stage he's ever seen and beat Andy Roddick, the defending U.S. Open champion, at his game. But Roddick found his win in the 3rd set and is now up a break in the 4th. I think we're getting, really, on our final night, the first real men's night match of the Open. The 2 champions last night were on their way to giving it to us before the rain broke it up.
3 sets there. That was just getting going before the rains came. Boy, we hope that doesn't happen here.
We had a great women's match. Jennifer Capriati and Serena Williams 2 nights ago.
Getting on a roll here the 2nd week of the Open, and this set is slipping away from Johansson. It'll be gone if he loses this point. Probably gone already. How often have we seen that today? Just unleashing that forehand.
So we've got to believe that Johansson's going to be a threat at Wimbledon. I'm not sure what his footwork is like on grass, but the serve and the forehand.
Well, that's the best result he's ever had there. He got to the 16s there this year. Farthest he's ever gone in a Grand Slam. Florian Mayer beat him in the round of 16. He beat Marty Fish, so that should give you an idea what he's capable of. Arnaud Clément has been in the top 10. Jonas Bjorkman, who's seated there. This guy watches much more of this. He's going to have a new name by the end of the match. You only have to play one opponent when you're a tennis player. You can see that this guy, Johansson, is still dangerous, but he just doesn't believe quite as much. He's not sure now.
And Roddick has the 2nd break. And barring a total. A total reversal, and Andy Roddick now trying to make sure he doesn't slip. On the verge of getting this to a 5th set.
Any minute now.
An astonishing run on serve.
Johansson has appeared to think he's got to just win this 5th set. And it's clear that he's regrouping.
Well, let's watch him serve it, because in the last service game for Johansson, John, he hit 2 first serves in that game. One was 89 miles an hour, one was 86.
Well, he's going to try to hold here. I mean, he's mentally dropped, but he wants, at least if I were him, I'd want to be start off the 5th set serving.
Right.
So I suspect you'll see more of an effort, a real effort to try to hold.
John, is it seems like once Andy has been able to get the serves back and start a point, it's as you talked about, when they play a point off the ground, I mean, look how clean Roddick has played. There's 14 errors.
The energy level is so much higher. You can just see mentally the change. He believes, and Johansson, you can just tell from here that he's unsure of what to do at this point, other than try to win some points on that first serve and crack the forehand. The other things aren't working anymore. Still do that. Gotta love the eyes, though. He is watching that ball intently. That's nice. There's a shot he'd struggled with the last time he served. And this time, the feel was back. And a potential hold will help him in the 5th set, I would think.
So Johansson does hold, and now Roddick will try to force this to the distance. Andy Roddick serving for the 4th set. Look at that. Roddick is serving, first serve percentage, 80% in this 4th set.
67% for the match is awful good as well. Shows you how well Johansson did play those first couple sets to take that lead. He definitely stunned Roddick, but Andy has now settled down. It's just about to level this match.
40-15.
So Roddick is taking Johansson to a place he's never been before. The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
The fifth set, straight ahead on USA.
Finally, a fifth set, Ted.
First one we've had at night.
Final set. Johansson to serve.
So, Joachim Johansson is now about to be baptized to the U.S. Open. Fifth set at night. The first time he's ever done it.
Thank you. Let's go.
Thank you.
Ball caught the line. Yep. Well, that ball was good, though. Apparently, the linesman changed his call. Let's take a look what the linesman does. To me, it caught part of the line.
Ball looks good. Now, it doesn't make any signal.
He hasn't made a call.
Now he makes the call. Like we didn't see what the call was. Hawkeye says good. Let's see if the. Well, I don't know what that means. Now that means good.
He called it in.
Please.
He got it right in the end.
Yeah.
It was certainly a ball that Andy couldn't have gotten to. So.
One of the two 5-set matches that Roddick has played this year, which he's lost both. He lost to Safin in Australia, and then Olivier Mutis at the French, second round.
He preferred to be Mutis. Was French. The Safin match I called, that was a great match. I'm not sure Andy was too thrilled with him. French Open, second round. And the unforced errors and the double faults. We've seen a little bit more of it from Johansson. And the last thing he needs is to lose serve here the first game of the fifth set.
In fact, it's why sometimes you have to look more than a number. Roddick's lost 4 5-set matches in his career. 3 have been at the French. Second ace for Johansson.
30 over.
Yeah, that's a lot of pace when you're hitting the serve out wide. Absolutely unreturnable. And this is where Johansson needs to excel. That weapon that he's got, that serve. Take advantage now. Andy thought that serve was out. I didn't see it. I'll be honest. I did not even see it.
Hawkeye does have the serve.
And that one, well, according to Hawkeye, is slightly out.
But
there is a plus minus of what?
Well, let's remember, there's another machine. It's the same as with the Capriati match.
The Cyclops.
The Cyclops is supposed to call that. And Johansson then finishes with an ace.
What's annoying is that we have all these machines, and we look up here, the fans are up here, and yet the players can't utilize it.
Well,
it's like one hand tied behind your back here.
John, then you bring up a great point, because this is a problem in the ongoing question of technology, which is when one machine contradicts another machine, what do you do? I mean, really,
it's even a better point.
The Cyclops has one reason to exist. That's to call that ball. And if another piece of technology contradicts it, we have a real problem.
It's a very, very big game for Johansson there to hold. That's why he made that effort 5-1 down to win his service game. He's in the lead again.
Roddick has won almost 70% of the points tonight on his second serve.
I think he hit 3 lines that point. He had Roddick running all over that court. That ball clipped the back of the line.
Yes, it did. I don't know that Johansson has won 2 points on Roddick's serve in one game since the second set. But that's 29 aces. Roddick ready to play. Johansson went for a towel.
The snort to try to slow him down a little bit.
Well, didn't matter. The 30th ace, 1-all, 5th set. And our tournament summary tonight presented by Cadillac. Earlier today, 3 men advancing. Roger Federer finished off Andre Agassi in a terrific 5-setter. Leighton Hewitt unblemished to the semis, and Tim Henman, what a year the veteran Brit has had. Second Grand Slam semi, and neither one is Wimbledon.
In Wimbledon. He's got to the quarters there as well. Best year of his career by far.
It's Federer, Henman Saturday. The winner here plays Hewitt, and tomorrow, don't forget the ladies semifinals, and Jennifer Capriati will try to reach her first U.S. Open final after her terrific fight against Serena Williams.
Unbelievable effort there.
And Lindsay Davenport trying to win the Open 6 years after she last did. Will also be in a semi tomorrow against teenager Kuznetsova.
Jennifer's had a couple heartbreaking semifinal losses here. Monica, I think in '91. Last year, that unbelievable match with Heiden. That will be tomorrow afternoon. Around 1 o'clock, I believe. The first of the 2 lady semis. I don't know who's up first. But I'm guessing it's Lindsay Davenport. Got hand cut by that ball. Maybe the wind caught it a little, but his footwork was sluggish there.
Crowd screaming as soon as that Johansson shot was called out.
See, it just missed. It appeared to be a miss hit by Roddick. A short ball turned out to be just what he wanted. Of course, Johansson hit an awkward shot. He's got his chance to break here early in the 5th set. That's just too good. Andy would have loved some more depth on this ground stroke because it gave Johansson the angle he needed.
The forehand is such a weapon. But the winner's only part of the story. Far more errors for Johansson. Not there, though. That's his 25th ace. And he holds. And we start the 5th set on serve.
Roddick with another service winner to start this 2-1 game in the 5th set. Andy Roddick has 5 unforced errors since the beginning of the 3rd set. Very clean tennis. But Johansson knows that there's a tiebreaker here. The only Grand Slam, Ted, with the tiebreaker in the 5th set. So he knows he plays another 15-20 minutes. Half hour at the most. You can see the mark from here. It's right there. You can't quite see from up here whether it was in.
Of course, the note 5th set to a conclusion means, let's take a look at that serve.
It's also a call he can't override if it's called out.
So close. No question there. But John, you were there for the Classic 2 years ago in Australia when Roddick went 21-19 in the 5th against USO.
We're not going to have this discussion, Andy. She's okay there. She doesn't want to be blocked.
He wants to know why she's standing there to try to call that. It's a crazy place to try to call the serve. That is a weird angle. I don't disagree with that. Why is she calling the ball there? It's nuts.
230.
Well, it was not a point that Carlos Ramos wanted to discuss, as you clearly told Andy. And Roddick answers it there. He's still fuming at the chair. 32 aces.
He's fuming, but he's also happy to be out there. He's excited.
And John probably using this as his fuel. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been waiting to know that. With the women's doubles final.
Everyone is staying waiting for that promo. Let's point again how well this young Swede has played out there today. He is really proven to anyone that's watched this match how dangerous an opponent he is.
Well, in the early stages of this set, again, he's never played a fifth set. He seems to have steadied himself.
Randy did have that break point in the first game, and he's come through. Forehand saved him. It's a complete miss at winner. But he'll take it. And thankfully, no apologies. Both players are, wait a second, wasn't that about 6 inches over the net?
I'm sure.
Not good footwork on that shot. A little bit bothered by that let call. Got the next 2 points. Well, that's got to feel good. I wouldn't know how to hit it that hard, but
in the fifth set to uncork this. 26th ace. Well, Johansson did the right thing. He played on.
Yes, that's right.
And won the point. The emotions that are so much a part of the tradition of night matches at the U.S. Open. And tonight, Andy Roddick, after going through 4 rounds without barely breaking a sweat, pushed to the limit tonight by a former doubles partner of his in junior tennis, Johansson.
Crowd likes that high percentage tennis. You know, wait and pick your spots to unleash the winners. Just a little bit too far behind the baseline to try to pull that off. Love 15-second serve. Oh boy. I take that back.
It's nice to feel like Superman every once in a while.
It was like Johansson's forehand, the way he uncorked that. That had some zip on it and some spin. Considering the circumstances, 2-3, love 15. That was a huge, massive shot, unbelievable shot.
Still, to me, a huge story in this match is how cleanly Roddick has hit the ball. We're in the 5th set, and he only has 18 errors.
A couple sets he was watching the ball go by him.
Right, and he's also served about 8 games worth of aces himself.
That helps.
But still, Johansson has 43 errors. Roddick's record is 38 in this category.
He may very well break that record here if this goes late in the 5th set. That's all these guys need is new balls. Going to change at 11 and 13 with these guys.
138 with the new tennis balls. We're in the 5th set. Match delayed almost an hour by rain in the 1st set. Don't wander far because there is a 5th set tiebreak at the U.S. Open.
$40.
28 aces now for Johansson. About 25% of the points in this match have been won on aces.
Not very unexpected the way these guys serve.
136. What a huge service game for Johansson.
Johansson leads 4-3. Final sets.
I can help you with that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Roddick, that is 1 seat on the flight there and
2 on the return flight. Thank you.
Andy Roddick serving 3-4 5th set. Roddick had little slip on his first serves in the last service game, but still pulled it out. That's his 4th double fault. And from here on, Roddick is in that sudden death zone, knowing if he doesn't hold, he may not get another chance.
Deserves a look. It was close. It looks like it caught the outside of the line. Let's take a look from this viewpoint. Yeah, it looked like it caught the line there.
Again.
Yeah, it's I don't know how you can call that out.
Point to Roddick.
He's looking at now. She's moved, thankfully. It would be good for a smile.
Roddick still in disbelief. Look at the positioning of the linesperson. I believe that's still his.
No coaching.
Yeah. Just hand signals. Just suggestions. Just
use your head.
Well, it's 11th night. We finally got that New York night. 5th set men's match. On the left, Jaslyn Hewitt, the sister of Leighton Hewitt. She's been Joaquin Johansson's girlfriend for several years. The winner of this match plays Leighton Hewitt in the semifinals.
Screaming in English there.
Does that sound like Leighton Hewitt to you?
That was very similar. It was well picked up there, Ted. It'll come on. Roddick did a lot of running there. .141. Give me a break.
It's his fastest. I believe he did that once earlier. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30. 1:41.30
30-30.
Johansson's coach keeps staring down at papers in front of him. He's keeping tabs on something. Don't usually see coaches do that.
Paul Anacone does that a lot. Tim Henry.
Roddick gives himself a look now. Deuce.
He didn't have enough legs there, Johansson, to try to uncork a big forehand. He's going to take his time so he can try to unleash a big serve here.
Thank you. Ready for play. Please. Thank you.
Well, he did jive, but Roddick got it back. Second chance in his 5th set for Roddick.
Both players understandably tight there. He was just trying to make Johansson hit a volley. Chance slips away from Roddick there. Big chance. Floating, and that is not going to give Johansson a lot of problems. Again, not enough on it.
And Johansson survives the break point.
Whoa, what a way to start out. What 10th game.
Johansson
got some bounce again.
Dynamite return.
Another excellent return from Johansson. He's 2 points away from the semis.
Can Roddick dig deep here for some serves?
Let's second serve.
This very sequence happened in the 2nd set when Roddick had a chance. Didn't cash in and was broken. Now the match rides on 3 points.
15-40. Match.
Just long.
That is long, and Johansson has won.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johansson.
The first 5-set match of his career, and all he does is walk onto tennis's biggest stage and beat the defending champion.
Is that all? Unbelievable effort by this guy, Johansson. That is some big-time stuff.
Roddick made it some night. But the disappointment impossible to mask for either player or coach.
Without further ado, we've got to go down to Michael Barkan. Mike.
Mac, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, 28 seed Johansson is going to the semifinals. Joachim, congratulations. We talked about this yesterday. You said this was going to be a possibility. How'd you make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, I got a good start in the first 2 sets, and then I went down a little bit in the 3rd and 4th, and then I hanged in there in the 5th, and finally I made it, so it was good for me.
In the 2nd set, you're serving 5-4. You're down triple break point, and you come back and win the game and take the set. How defining a moment was that for this match?
I mean, if you get up 2 sets to love, that's very important. In another case, it could have been a breaker, and you never know what's going to happen there. If it would have been 1 set all, you never know what's going to happen, so that was very good for me.
And then what happened second 2 sets? Then you went away for a while before coming back for the 5th.
I don't know. Hopefully you could answer that question for me, mate.
I don't know if I'm going to have to. Yeah, you're going to the final, semifinals. In terms of your game and forehand winners, you relied on that. Your forehand winners were amazing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty tough. It was pretty windy in here, so I missed a fair few also, but I made a big one, so it was good.
Is this the moment of your career right now?
Yeah.
Obviously. And the crowd loves it here. New York loves an underdog. Your girlfriend happens to be related to your opponent, Jaslyn Hewitt and Leighton Hewitt, brother and sister. Now you got to go against Leighton. How will that be?
I mean, she can pick the boyfriend, but she can't pick the brother, so she's going to go for me for sure.
Is that a thumbs up, Jaslyn? She's not sure. How are you going to play Leighton?
I have to think about that a little bit later, but it's going to be great fun for me. First semifinal and play against him. He's a great player, so it's going to be a tough match, but hopefully I can get through that one as well.
Joachim, congratulations. Great match.
Thank you.
Joachim Johansson moving on to the semis.
Complications for the Hewitt family.
I'm going to tell you one thing. He doesn't play like the great Swedes before him, but he talks